Welcome to the message of the week. This week we want to talk about our beliefs and our belief system. Just the other day I reheard a story that I learned long ago, and I started thinking about it a little bit more, and it came across that this would be a good point to make sure that I share with you guys. The story is basically about elephants in the circus. Circuses are a little bit different these days than when we were growing up, but if you remember the old days, you'd see this really gigantic jumbo elephant, and it would not go anywhere. It would stay in its little area, and all that was holding it there was this little rope. And so people would always wonder, well, gosh, how come this elephant doesn't just walk away? You know, if it's hungry, if it smells something and wants to go investigate, it could easily break that rope. And the answer is its belief system. And if you don't know the history, what happens is when elephants in the old days were first born and captured for a circus, when they were tiny, they would put that rope around their paw or their leg. And so at that point, they would grow up with that their entire life. And when they're small, the rope was too strong. They weren't able to break out of it. So as they grew up, they eventually just gave up and said, I've got this rope, I'm stuck here. It became their belief system. So that really got me thinking that, you know what? People are the same way. You know, every day I hear people tell me what they can't do, right? And if you're around the karate school, you know what my answer is, right? Don't tell me what you can't do. Tell me what you can do. And the idea behind that is to solve the problem, right? Create a solution, and that way you're going to be able to move on, move forward, and be much more successful. All right, so don't become the elephant. Don't give in to a belief system. And particularly when you're working with your kids, you've got to be super hypercritical about this, about what is their belief system and what system are you pushing onto them. All right, well, gosh, you know, I have a child in class right now that says, I want to be a scientist when I grow up. That's fantastic. You're going to make a great scientist. That's what she hears from me. Right? But imagine if, and this may or may not be the case, when she goes home, the parents or the grandparents or her best friend, somebody else around says, oh man, that's dumb. You'll never be a scientist. Well, she might believe that, and that might then hinder her success. Right? We don't want to be that tether. We don't want to be that rope to anybody in our circle. Right? Our circle is the basic contacts, our family, our intimates, our relationships, even our friends. You don't want to have that negative mindset, right? So always look to find what you can do so that you can find the solutions and be successful. All right? Think about that this week. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll tell you what you can do to solve it. Talk to you next week.